What's up, YouTube and tower defenders? Welcome back to my channel. Today I got a video on, and if you're new here, welcome. But today I got a video on like a tips and tricks sort of video on how to change some settings on your phone potentially to help it run a little better, and potentially farm a little better overnight, especially if you use your phone primarily as your device. Specifically, Android phones, maybe even more specifically, Samsung devices. I'm not entirely sure all of the devices will have a same options, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of what I mean here. First, let me get the skin off. So one thing people have said, like the lag on your device, right? If it's getting laggy and frame rate is dropping due to the background animation skins, definitely turn those off and just run no skin, blank background. Mine's pretty good. I mean, I get a slight lag when I'm in the 7,000s and stuff, but it runs in a little bit after that. It's not terrible. I've run without a straight black background, and it doesn't seem to make it a big of a difference. So, first, let's do let's go ahead and change that. So, we're gonna go ahead and relaunch the tower. And if you didn't know, you can. I want to change the skin because I wanted to show one that's more pronounced to the lag for what we're gonna do here. So if you didn't know, you can just basically not start the battle and you can go change your skins. I don't know when they introduced that or if it's always been a thing, but I stumbled upon that a little while ago. Here, Snowstorm is a perfect example of a terrible, it's not a terrible skin, but for one that causes lag. Let's get that one going. So I see here it's running fine for me here at the moment. I mean, it might have little skips, but I don't know. Okay, so if you're running an Android phone, over here in the corner there's some options. If you just swipe up at the bottom, you should have some options in the corner, and it's a game booster settings. It should show these a little bit about the temperature, performance, da da da. If you click the options, actually let me go back. I wanted to show you because I just clicked the performance. So over here there's the little gear, so make sure you click the gear, or I clicked that performance for game optimization. It did load the settings, but just in case, like I said, not all phones may have the same things. So for this example, I had it turned on because I was messing with it to try some stuff, but typically this is set off. The auto touch protection, if you read this, it says save power during touch protection, reduce the frame rate for games while the touch protection is active. That's terrible. Touch protect, well, you have two options. You can turn it off, which I like mine on, and we'll show you here. It's going to darken the screen when you're letting it charge. Turn that on for this. And the other options is the game performance optimization. I have mine set for performance. Pretty sure that might affect something in the background of your memory and usage. So that one for performance. And if you have this USB PD charging when gaming, that would super cool. Mine does not have this capability. I'm pretty sure I had a 25 watt power supply, but this does not turn on my phone. But if you have this, that could potentially help heating issues too, because some of the tips here are going to cover some heat issues. So let's turn that on, and I'll turn it to 1 minute. So here's the game. Let's go ahead, and you see it's running fine. Turn on the touch protection. You can significantly see that frame rate has dropped. So that will significantly impact your coin farm. This will happen even on good backgrounds. It's just more pronounced, and you can see it while the screen is kind of dimmed here with the snow background. I was testing it on just pure black. Going into this mode will reduce the frame rate road, will still affect the usage. You just can't see the blocks as good. So you can click here and unlock, and it's back to normal. So let's go ahead and turn that back off. and you can activate it with the button here on the right, where the stones will be appearing. So as you see, with it on now, everything's running the same. It's still... So the reason I like the touch protected active is, one, you can touch your screen all over the place and nothing happens. It doesn't like unlock, so you can put it in your pocket or whatever. But also it dims the screen significantly. So if you're charging it overnight, it's nice to like just have that over there, off to the side. Unless there's some settings on some phone that let it run in the background with the screen off. Mine does not do that. The screen cannot be off and the game will keep running. So that's one of the things I wanted to mention here, because that definitely can help. The other thing is your temperature. Like right now my temperature is good, but I would notice here, let's get rid of this background because I'm not a big fan of that. We're going to swipe that away. Let's relaunch the game. Go back to my pond. Alright, so the game's running again. So a couple other things, like, so I've noticed sometimes while even with the game settings off, like you're just letting it idle here overnight, it gets pretty hot sometimes. Temperatures I notice go from about, like while I'm charging it, it'll do about 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and it'll go to about 95 with it full screen while charging overnight. It does get, I have my phone limited to 80% charge on the Samsung settings, so it doesn't go over 80% max, and it'll hit 80 and then let it go down a little bit back to 80. But that does get about 95 or so if this game's full, 93, 95, which isn't terrible. I did some searches, and that's like the high end of where you don't want it to be, because more than that can significantly degrade your battery, they say, over the lifespan of things. So one thing I found that helps with that, let's get rid of the touch, is if you hit your little button here, and this is the part where I'm not sure if all the lines of Android phones or if it's a certain, like Android 15, 16 or something, or the One UI for Samsung, but you can click the little, just hold there, and it pops out these menus. You can drop it there, but if you drop it in this one here, it'll play in this little window, which some people use so that when it's playing in this little window, you can, you know, do your other stuff, like run your website or web browser, and, you know, look at your stats. Has to reload, but yeah, now I can go see what I was doing. The game's still running here, but I don't usually try to run too much with that at the same time. And in fact, let's swipe those away while they're in the background so they're not running. So this will significantly also reduce the heat. I've noticed when I turn that on, if it's using a smaller amount of the screen, only so much of it's now in use, it usually doesn't break 90 degrees charging overnight. I'll check it periodically. I installed a little app over here, or a widget that just checks your temperature. You can click it to get a refresh, and it updates like every 15 minutes or something. And I was doing that just for some testing to see, and it rarely would break 90. It's usually like 86, 87 while charging if I have it off to the side there, and then turn on the screen touch protection, and then let that go like that. Now, I know there's something to be said about burn-in and things like that with phones. I've not experienced anything in about 4 or 5 months now doing this. Running my game, I've been actually running my game on my phone since I started playing in October, so, and it's been playing overnight all the time. I've never noticed any burn-in on my phone. I have a Samsung A53 or something like that. It's an AMOLED screen, so I don't really know too much about the technology behind them. So research that at your own, research that part on your own if you're worried about any kind of screen burn-in. But then again, I think having it full screen, you got all these little buttons here that just stay there, right? So they would burn in too, I guess. But But yeah, so then other thing I've noticed too, when you're in this mode here, pretty handy, you can just slide it off to the side there too and hide it totally. That way you can do whatever you need to do while that's, you can open your apps up while that's, doesn't run when it's in that little mode, which is that little button. That just kind of leaves it floating for, it's like in a standby, but I've noticed it doesn't count the waves, so that doesn't actually run. You got to have the screen open still. But so anyway, that's about it for this. I can't think of any other ones that would cover for my little phone adventure. Those are just some tips I've picked up along the way. Hopefully they'll help some people. If you have any other comments or anything that you have discovered that might help with performance, leave them in the comments below. If you like the video, leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll probably try to make some more stuff of this vein down the road as I think of some stuff. But I hope everyone has a good day. Take it easy.